I want you to try the things I share with you, but don't believe me unless they work. And if they don't work, I want you to call me out. Hey, I tried that thing. I don't think that's going to work. So we're going to try a couple of exercises, okay? Now, first thing I want you to do, bring all of your attention on me. Stare at me as if I'm a criminal and you're trying to make me nervous. Just stare at me. Okay. I'm going to give you specific instructions really fast, and I want you to follow every single word I say and do what I'm saying. Just listen to every word, okay? Raise your hand up like so, completely straight. None of this stuff here, all the way straight. Perfect. Now point your index finger to the ceiling. Perfect. Take your index finger and place it on your chin. Now, look at the person next to you and say, that's not your chin. Now, I saw some people doing this. I don't know what you guys were doing. Now, I said chin. Takes a while to get it, right? I said chin, but I did this. What did most people here do? They did this as well. Why? Who wants to tell me why that happened?
I was focusing on it.
Exactly. So remember this. Actions speak louder than words. It takes time to process language, but you make snap judgments based on what you see. Now, public speaking is all about confidence. How do you present yourself with confidence? But imagine this. Before a class presentation, before an interview, what are we thinking about? What do I say? What's the best answer? What example can I give that they will like me? How can I come across confident with what I say? But do we ever think about, how am I moving my body? Because imagine this, if I was here right now in my underwear, you're getting very happy about it. That would have been a very different kind of workshop, but if I was in my underwear right now and I changed nothing about what I said, would you interpret me differently? Right? Some of you in a very inappropriate way. We're not getting there today. But depending on how you carry yourself, people perceive the message differently. So I'm going to show you what not to do. I'm going to ask someone to give me a random topic. I'm going to speak about the topic, and I'm going to be the worst public speaker you've ever seen. And I'm going to ask you what I did wrong. Is that cool? Is that cool? Yeah. Perfect. Wanted to make sure. This is an English-speaking side, right? Yeah. Okay, beautiful. Someone give me a topic here that I could speak about on the spot. By the way, last time someone says death, can we go a little bit more upbeat from that?
All right. Why the Beatles are the best band in the world?
I hate the Beatles. Let's pick another one. Okay, no. Give me one word. Don't make it specific.
Okay. Anybody has any beautiful?
Yes.
Give me a really random word. Orange.
Orange, fantastic. So for now, don't worry about what I'm saying. Just pay attention to my body and tell me how you interpret me based on how my body moves, okay? I'm gonna pretend to make the entrance from here. Give me a quick round of applause and I'll make an appearance, okay? Thank you. Hey everyone. Today, my topic is orange. And orange is, it's a good fruit. Orange has citrus. Citrus. And orange is, I like orange juice a lot. After I do my gym, I usually do, let me check my notes really quickly here. Yeah, so after, okay, let me stop here. I can see you cringing already. No, just, right. I won't make you bear too much more of that. But did we feel the adrenaline in my speech? How inspiring was that, right? Now, what did I do wrong there? Yes.
You had your hands in your pocket.
Hands in my, why is that a bad thing?
Because usually you would speak with your hands.
Okay, hands in my pocket. What else? Yes? A lot of ums, okay. Why is that a bad thing? So maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, yes?
No eye contact,
Why is that a bad thing?
because you're disconnected from your audience.
Yes. Can you imagine if I just showed up and gave an inspirational speech to the floor here? Today I'm going to talk about public speaking. You can do whatever you want. Doesn't quite hit the same way, right? Yes.
Just the way you talked, like throughout, like the whole, like before when you were talking, you had more confidence in your voice. While right now you were just
Yeah.
talking.
I'm glad you mentioned that second part. Otherwise, I wasn't sure if you were talking about my example or my speech in general. I don't like the way you talk. I don't think I'll listen to anything you say. But can we see how easy it is? That speech was, what, 15 seconds long? And you already decided whether you wanted to pay attention or not. Now imagine the same thing is happening in your interviews when you meet a potential employer and you have a lot of competition. So remember, people make decisions about you based on what they see. So what should you do instead? Now, the first thing you want to do, you want to make these two things visible. Because what we do when we're nervous is we hide these right away. What do we do? Hands in the pocket. What we also do sometimes, we start walking with the hands in the pocket, and you turn into a little weird toy situation here. Some people, they put their hands behind their back. Now, what we do when we're afraid in general is we hide. So we'll hide our hands. Some people will even hide their legs. Ever seen a presentation like this? Yeah, so today, my presentation, and then they'll just look at the slide the entire time. Ever seen a presentation like that? Yes or no? Yeah. Ever given a presentation like that? Yeah. Right? Because if I came up here, I'm just going to borrow your piece of paper here. Let's say I said the exact same thing. Today, I'm going to talk about public speaking. When I was a child, I was very, very shy, but then I came to Canada, and then I won all these public speaking contests. Now I have 300,000 followers, and I'm going to teach you about public speaking. You're right. I'm going to walk out of this class in 2 seconds. Did we feel that there was a barrier between me and you? Why? Because I was hiding behind the notes. I was hiding behind my hands. So make these two things visible. Now, if you're wondering, what do I do with my hands? There's something you can do. It's called A gestures, B gestures, and 3 gestures. So A gestures are within your body, everything over here. But the problem tends to be most people don't seem to break out of here. They just stay in this pocket. So everything they do is around here. Can you see how when I'm not expressing my body, it's just very rigid? B gestures are more shoulder level, a little bit further apart. Hey, I'm going to talk about this. You add some variety there. C, really big. Today, I'm going to share with you one thing that you can do to do this. Can you see the variety in the movement there, right? So I want us to try this really quickly. You're just going to partner with the person right next to you. I'm going to give you a super easy question. Doesn't matter what you say, just incorporate your hands into it. And your partner will tell you if you're moving your hands. And then we'll switch and we'll try it again. Can we do that? Yes or no? Can we do that? Yes or no? Yes. There we go. Let's always do the second one, okay? All right. The question for you is describe your favorite place in the world. So you can answer that question and use your hands as well. We'll do that for about 60 seconds each, okay? All right. 3, 2, 1, let's go. And time. Some of you got too excited about your vacation place. What do we learn? And by the way, this is not easy to do right away. Some of you will find, oh, my hands are rocks, I can't move them at all. What did we notice while we were trying it? No good, no bad, just what did we notice? No one noticed anything. Yes? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. What did that have to do with the hand movement? So a really good point she brought up is when you're focused on one thing, usually other areas of your speech will start to suffer. So for example, if I gave you 14 balls to juggle, well, I can't even do 3, but imagine I gave you 14, it's very hard to manage all of them. So when I give you an exercise to try, just try it in isolation. I just want you to move my hands. I don't care what my answer is. I don't care what my eye contact is like. So were you using your hands more? Did it feel like you had more energy there?
Yeah, I was using it as well.
Perfect. Did anyone feel a little awkward moving their hands? Yeah? Tell me, what was awkward about it?
I just felt like, I don't know if I was doing too much or too little.
Yeah.
I don't know where to put my hand.
That's a great question because when you're practicing anything, you want to practice an exaggeration. And I'll tell you why, because sometimes when I tell people use your hands, let's say they're using their hands like this, okay, before the practice. And I'll say, okay, use your hands more. This is what will happen. So they can't see the difference at all because it's so negligible. So I have to say, move your hands so much that there's no doubt that you're using your hands. And then scale it back as you're able to do it. Now, did anyone notice while they were moving their hands, they also got a little louder when they were talking? You're nodding your head. What did you notice?
I just feel like I was more open, so like my chest, I was able to like, I don't know.
Projecting a bit more? Fantastic. What else did we notice? This row is very, very quiet. The 3 of you have to decide who's gonna give some input. We might be here for a bit, folks. Get lunch. Go for it.
I felt very forced because my
Yeah.
used to use my hands.
Yeah. Everything that you do for the first time is going to be forced. Get used to feeling fake and unnatural because a lot of people say, including myself, this does not come naturally to me, therefore I am doing something wrong. Does it feel like that sometimes where I'm not used to this? So if you've never played tennis for the first time and you're playing tennis, oh, this is not natural to me, I can't do it. I don't speak Spanish, I don't know what this word is, I've never used it before, it doesn't come naturally to me, I'm not gonna do it. So you wanna take the same logic, just because you haven't done it before doesn't mean it's unnatural, it's just a new behavior you're learning. So when you're trying out these things, just try to implement your hands and I guarantee you, you're gonna come across more confident. More so, what I want you to do is just avoid doing the things that make you look less confident, which is this, which is this. Ever seen anyone do this? So yeah, today in my presentation, I'm gonna talk about, what is this? First of all, it shows you have some sort of a drug addiction, but other than that, it also shows you that I'm very nervous, right? I'm just trying to calm myself. Just relax your hands, keep them here, move them around, come back here, okay? So one, lead with your body, makes you more confident. Is that clear? Yes or no? Yes. Fantastic. Number two, one of the biggest challenges I had, I went to a networking event when I was in university and I wanted a job. Now this is what I thought happens when you go to a networking event. You take a resume, you give it to an employer, you give it to an employer, you give it to an employer. Eventually they call you, hey, you got the job, come on in. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. I'm sad to break it to you. So I went to a networking event and I'm handing in my resumes and I hand it to one person and he looks at my resume, he looks back at me and says, so tell me a little bit about yourself. You heard that groan, right? Now, how do we feel when we get that question? Oh my God, I gotta talk about myself. So I said what most of us say, yeah, my name is Yasser. I'm looking for a job and graduating from business school and hopefully, your company banner looked great. So the rest is on the resume. I saw his face go from this to that. Quick piece of advice, you never want to see that happen if you're trying to impress someone. And then he said something to me that I still won't forget. He said, if you don't have an introduction, you might as well get ready for a rejection. I'll say that again. If you don't have an introduction, you might as well get ready for a rejection. Because the most common question we get asked at a job interview, at a networking interview, when we meet someone for the first time is what? Tell me about yourself. But be honest and raise your hand, you don't quite know how to do that. It's hard, right? For me as well. She's like, okay, I know a little bit about myself. I've seen myself before. Maybe I could talk about myself. So the first thing I'd like to share with you is how you can introduce yourself in a way that commands presence and leaves a lasting impression. But I'm going to show you how not to do it first, okay? Can someone here ask me to introduce myself? Introduce yourself. Who are you? Why are you here? Perhaps in a more gentler tone. Phenomenal. You have a podcast voice. I like that. Yeah, my name is Yasser. I'm here to teach public speaking, and I like public speaking, and it's amazing. And I have a lot of interest. Like I used to play football and soccer, and I'm from Pakistan, and I like to watch stand-up comedy. I have some eggs in my fridge. I'm running out of milk. I'm going to go to the grocery store after this. How did you feel about my introduction?
I think you sped through it a lot, kind of focused on what you were saying.
100%. What else? Yes, like what? Yeah. How do you know it's irrelevant? Maybe it's super relevant. Yes.
I think you were in a rush.
Yeah.
And not expressing your feelings, not having movements.
Correct.
So that's why it wasn't interesting to me.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate that. The challenge we have is we know a lot about ourselves, but we don't know how to give people relevant information, and we don't know how to structure it in a way that they remember it. So I'd like to share with you, does anyone have a notepad or a phone they could write notes on? These would be 3 very important words I highly recommend you write down. Very, very important. We'll try it in just a bit. Okay, raise your hand if you're ready. I'll continue. When everyone's hands up, I'm going to raise my hand. Okay, beautiful. First word is going to be present. Second word is going to be past. Third word is going to be, who wants to guess? Yeah, there we go, future. So present, past, future. This is how it works. When someone asks you to introduce yourself, you first tell them what you're doing now, then you tell them about your past experience, and then you tell them about your vision for yourself. So could you ask me to introduce myself, please?
Why don't you introduce yourself?
I don't want to. Why don't you introduce yourself? There you go. My name is Yasser Khan. I'm a public speaking coach with about 3 million followers across social media. In the past, I used to work as a recruiter. That's actually where I got my start in communication skills. I used to help people get jobs, and I used to help employers find employees. But my vision for the future is to help over 1 billion people become their most confident self. Present, past, future. Do we notice that? Right? So now on your phone, I just want you to write one single line for each one of them. What are you doing now? And if you don't have a job, I'm studying XYZ. In the past, I've had an interest in whatever. I've really been fascinated by whatever. And then future, what I aim to be when I graduate is ABC. Just write down those 3 sentences, and then we'll go into partners again. We're going to try with each other, okay? I'll give you about 2 minutes. Okay, we'll pause here for a bit. Continue. Can I just bring you up here for a quick second just to read it out? Yeah, come on up. Give him a round of applause, everybody. Look like a very confident individual. What a handshake, man. Oh my God. You got some ice in the back there? Okay. I first want you to give a terrible introduction. Okay, so someone's going to ask you to introduce yourself, worst possible introduction. Then if you want, you can read it, the one you wrote, or just go off the cuff in the same format, okay? Can you please ask him to introduce himself?
Introduce yourself, please.
My name is Peter. I go to TMU, I believe.
He's not even sure where he goes.
I've worked before. We're here at public speaking, and I hope to continue my education and hope to start something later on.
That's a very good job in doing a bad job, right? Very, very well done. Now let's do it the proper way. Can you ask him one more time, please?
Introduce yourself, please.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Peter Ormosu. I'm an aspiring TMU student. Currently, I have a course major in global management studies and hopefully to minor in finance. I have a past experience in assistant media buyer for a media marketing organization, as well as assistant building operator for a real estate company. As of right now, my plans are to continue advancing my challenges and advance my career, as well as hopefully start my own organization later on in the future.
Round of applause for that. Wow. Okay. First of all, I don't know if you were trying to catch a train there, my friend, but did we notice the structure there? The present, past, future, right? Very, very well done, my friend. And by the way, first time you say it is the worst. The more times you do it, the better. But imagine if you had said it the first time in an actual job interview. We don't want to do that. You can have a seat. So let's partner up now, just with the person next to you. Just try saying it 2 times. So one person's going to say it, and the other, and we're going to do it one more time. It will naturally improve. Okay? All right. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. And time. Time. These two are just getting into a full-blown conversation there. Tell me more about you. Oh, yeah, me too. How'd that feel, trying the structure out? What do we observe? Yes. What did we observe trying that out?
Like trying that out?
Yes.
I don't know, we use a lot of arms and arms.
That's okay. The goal was not, it was just to follow the structure. Was it easier for you to introduce yourself? Okay, fantastic. Yes.
When I observed her like presenting in that structure, I realized she was giving a lot of relevant information while she was speaking. She didn't like swerve off to something unnecessary like getting eggs later. So yeah, it's better also because whoever you're talking to is most probably in a tight schedule when it comes to business.
Yeah, and be honest, who's been in a conversation where you just don't know when they'll stop talking? Oh, wow, that's the fastest the hands have gone up. Some of you are looking at, right? But we've been in that position where you make the mistake of talking to that one person at the networking event, and then they just yawn on about their entire life and they don't have any structure. So here, at least you know what the point is, and there's a finish line at the end, so it gives you some hope. What else did we learn trying that out? How about you?
It felt a little bit forced for me just because I felt myself trying to keep up
Yeah.
with the structure. I haven't practiced it yet.
Yeah.
And so like because I was trying so hard to remember the structure, I was like kind of sitting like this, like
Yeah.
using my hands and stuff.
Yeah. Has anyone taken a dance class here before? Okay, fantastic. You have. Wow, how convenient. when you're learning a new dance move, you don't know how to do it, so you have to force your body into certain, this is not how you dance, but maybe the Michael Jackson one, but that's what my depiction of dancing is. But you have to force your body into certain things you're not comfortable doing. But then what happens when you learn the move, then the next one, then the next one, it eventually becomes fluid. So right now you're in that awkward, messy phase when you introduce yourself and, I don't like how that sounded. That's me? No, that's not me. So completely normal to feel that way. But did you find that when you were consciously thinking about it, you could hit the present, the past, and the future? Yeah? And how did you feel about her introduction?
It was pretty good, yeah.
To the point?
Honestly, she's being modest. Like her instructor was actually, past, present.
Beautiful. And this is the other thing, by the way, we critique ourselves so much all the time. I have clients all the time who do an amazing job and say, oh my God, I had a 3-hour keynote, but I said once. No one noticed. Who cares? You did 2 hours and 59 seconds. Amazing. So make sure you focus on the positive. Very, very good point. What else did we notice about the introduction? Go ahead.
It was way smoother.
In what way?
Like, since we had a structure,
Yeah.
we knew what to follow.
Yeah.
And we were not picking out random stuff.
Exactly. And you're bridging into the next thing we're going to learn, which is oftentimes we have a lot of information in our head, but we just don't know how to export the information. So for example, if I asked you a question, tell me what your favorite food is. Everyone here likes to eat, and I imagine more than one thing, right? Unless you're in prison. I don't know what they get there. But you have 5 or 6 things that you like to eat. But then if I ask you, what's your favorite? Oh, I like pizza, but I also like burgers. But yesterday I had some Thai food. And now you don't know how to organize that information. So when you're in an interview and they ask you, tell me about your biggest strength. Tell me about a project that you've led. Tell me about an assignment that you've done. You don't quite know how to sort through that information. So I'll show you what happens when you don't have a proper structure and a proper way of taking the thoughts into speech. Can someone ask me directions to this classroom? How do we get to this classroom? Go for it.
How would you get to the bootcamp lab?
Yeah. So first of all, it's located in Toronto. Okay, and Toronto is a city in Canada, beautiful country, lots of things to do. Toronto is on the west side, I believe. I'll have to double check that. Maybe it's on the east side was Vancouver. Anyway, west side, and Toronto is so multicultural, has so many things it's known for, so much food, so many different diversities off the charts. Anyway, so you get downtown, and then you go to Dundas Square. By the way, things are always happening at Dundas Square, activities, there are people there, great mall, even. How are you feeling about my answer right now? Someone's fell asleep? Yes.
You haven't gotten straight to the point.
Exactly. I'm just wasting your time. What am I doing? I'm thinking out loud. So I'm taking you along on my thought process. So I'm hoping if I talk long enough, eventually I'll know what I'm talking about. Doesn't that seem odd? What if we knew what we were talking about first? Now, I'll give you another example. Someone asked me what my favorite app on my phone is.
What is your favorite app?
Oh man, I like so many apps. I like Instagram, I like Spotify, I use Shazam. What's that new one? TikTok, I really like TikTok. And all these apps, I find them very, very helpful for new content, and he's just like, oh my God, how much longer this is together, right? So can you see how my answers is going in 5 different directions? I haven't given you one answer. So I'm going to answer that same question again, but notice how much tighter it sounds this time. My favorite app has to be Spotify. I use many apps, but the reason Spotify is my favorite app is because when I go to the gym, I have a difficult time staying motivated. But Spotify every Monday gives me a brand new playlist specific for my workouts and specific for the pace that I like to go at. So I like going to the gym, loading up my Spotify, kicking in the music, working out, coming back home. That's why I love Spotify. Did that seem more direct? How long did it take me to get to the point of what my favorite app was? 1 sentence, right? So what you want to do is you want to train yourself to speak like this, where you can respect the other person's time and you can get to the point and elaborate. Pull your phone out, I'll give you a quick structure, write this down. If you have to give a speech on the spot, you're asked a question in an interview, you don't know how to answer, maybe you have to impress someone in a networking event, you can use this. You're just going to write 4 words. First word is going to be point, P-O-I-N-T. Second word is going to be reason. Third word is going to be example. And the fourth word, again, is going to be point. So point, reason, example, point. Now, there is a step before that. When people get nervous, especially me, this was a huge issue for me, when we're asked a question or given a topic, we feel an urge to jump on it right away. If I don't answer this fast enough, I will look unconfident. I have to jump on it right away. And that's why they start talking and airing out their thoughts. So before you answer, I want you to take a mandatory 5 to 10 second pause. Just pause. Just take a little bit of time to think about your thoughts. What is my favorite app? What do I like doing on my off time? Where do I like going on vacation the most? Pick one single thing. So if it's, what's your favorite vacation? Oh, I've been all over the world. I like this. Of all the places I've been to, the one that comes to mind is Dubai, or the one that comes to mind is Canada. Then you provide a reason why that's your favorite. The reason I love Canada is because it has these diverse vistas. It has Banff, which is one of my favorite places of all time. You provide a reason. And then you give an example, which could be a story or an anecdote about yourself. So for example, when I came to Canada, the first thing I saw was the diversity. The first thing I saw was these huge skyscrapers, and I knew all the movies that I was watching, this is where I wanted to be. So you've given an example, you've given a reason, and the problem for most people is when they're in motion, they don't know how to stop. So they talk, and they'll just stop talking, and it's kind of awkward at the end. So you want to have a stamp in the end by making that point again. So that's why you'll say, so that's why Toronto is my favorite city. So that's why Spotify is my favorite app. Point, reason, example, point. So I'll give you a quick question, again on your phone, just using that structure, fill in that structure. We'll do a fun topic. Someone give me a suggestion for a fun question.
What's your favorite artist?
Favorite artist, like artist or?
Music artist.
Okay, music artist. Okay, what's your favorite artist? Let's do that question. Okay, I don't write a PhD here, folks. We just need 4 sentences, that's all. Let's stop here for a second. Can I just have you read it from your phone, what you came up with? Is that okay? Or just come up here and you can do it if that's okay. Give him a round of applause, everybody. Just read it. I imagine you know how to read?
Yeah, I know.
Fantastic. Okay. Just look at the audience and just point, reason, example, point. Do you need your phone for it, or can you just?
Mine have it.
Oh, beautiful. Let's do it. My favorite.
Music artist is Hans Zimmer. It's, first of all, let me start by saying I'm an incredible movie lover. I watch cinema just for, not for entertainment, but for just analyzing art, how the movie is made. So I feel like Hans Zimmer's work is really, the way he can just view music is really incredible. No one is able to do it that way. And for example, his recent work for Dune, it's in an alien planet. So he created his own language for the song and made music for that planet, which I find is really incredible. So I'm going to go with Hans Zimmer.
How good was that? Do we feel the structure there? Well done, my friend. Well done. Were we able to follow that? He immediately had a point. He gave you solid reasoning. He gave you an example, and he finished with a point again. Can anyone else read it just from their seat? What else did we come up with? I'll wait. We got time. Yes, go for it.
Alright, so what I did,
If you're not going to read, might as well come up here, my friend. Why not? Give him a round of applause, folks. All right. Same question, right? Okay, go for it.
So my favorite artist is Lil Baby. I feel like he's helped me multiple times with music. I feel like he really speaks to me. An example would be one time, my girlfriend broke up with me, and something similar also happened to him. He made a song about it, and I listened to the song. I feel like it really helped me with my situation. So that's the reason Lil Baby's my favorite artist.
Isn't that amazing or what? Right? Go and have a seat. Well done. Well done. I hope you recovered, my friend. I've been through that journey too many times. I did not turn to Little Baby, unfortunately. I just wrote sad songs on YouTube and I got a whole playlist. Now, did we feel how he also had a bit of a story in there and we emotionally could relate to his story, right? He did a fantastic job there. So what I want everyone to do, go back into your groups, just read your story out to the other person, and we'll switch. Let's just see how it sounds when you do it, okay? 3, 2, 1, let's go. And time. Time. How'd that feel?
Better.
Better? Tell me, what do you mean?
I mean, like it got easier because you have a structure to follow.
Yeah.
Even if it's hard to answer,
Yeah.
you still know the structure. You know what to use and how it's gonna help you. to
Exactly.
speak. Because sometimes we forget that, like, when we go to business meetings, we talk to everybody like they're friends to us.
Yeah.
So we have no structure at all. But whenever you have it, you know how to answer the question.
I think you should just come and teach the rest of this workshop. That was amazing. I couldn't have said it better myself. Because you know where you're going. You have a bit of a compass, because sometimes when I speak, I don't really know where I'm going next. In fact, I have no idea why I'm here. I'm like, wow. It gives you a roadmap to follow. So if you know you're going to make your point, then you know what you're going to talk about. The hardest part is the first step, which is to come up with the answer. And if you feel like you don't have the answer, never feel afraid of saying, I don't know. I'll give you a quick example. I was coaching a client who was a senior VP of a company, and I was very new as a public speaking coach. I was very young, and when I had a VP on the call, I was thinking, wow, it's a VP. What am I going to teach this VP? I don't know anything about being a VP. So he said, okay, I just want some basic pointers on how I can speak on the spot. I said, sure, I can help you with that. So I would ask him questions that are hypothetical, like, okay, if you were the CEO of your company, what would you change? Or if there's one inefficiency in your company, what would you change? And I would notice he would answer very, very quickly, but I couldn't help but feel he was making up a lot of these answers. And this is a VP we're talking about. So I didn't know how to help him. So I just asked him, hey, is this actually what you would do? And he said, oh God, no, I'm making it up. I said, hey, interesting. Why are you making it up? He said, well, I don't want people to know that I don't know the answer, so I have to have the answer all the time. No, again, I don't know how to help him, so I just keep asking questions. I asked him, is it worse that you don't know the answer, or is it worse that you tell people you know the answer and there's miscommunication in the team? And he heard me for a while. He took a minute of silence and said, Yasa, you know what? I think this session, I'm gonna have to cut it short. I have other things to do. We'll reconvene later. Now I'm thinking, oh my God, see, you're an idiot. Why are you working with these VPs? You know nothing about how to work with a VP. You blew it. You had one shot. He's gonna hate you. 3 days later, he messages me and says, can we get on a call? And I said, sure. We get on a call. He says, you helped me realize something I didn't know about myself, which is I always feel like I need to know the answer, because if I don't know, I come across weak. What I didn't realize was when I asked my team, most of them can tell that I don't know the answer, and then they think I'm faking it. And when they can tell I'm faking it, guess what happens? They don't trust anything I say after that. So now I'm very comfortable saying I don't know, but what I do know is this. Or what I do know is I can go to this person and get the answer. So you might be in a situation in an interview or in a networking event where someone asks you about something you don't know anything about. Don't feel the need of making things up. I guarantee you, take it from me, you think you're a good liar, you're probably not. Most people can tell. So just tell them, I'm not really sure, but what I do know is X, Y, Z. But if you do know the answer, make the point first, reason, example. Does that make sense? Yes or no? Yes. Beautiful. Now, we know how to use our body. We know how to structure our thoughts. We know how to introduce ourselves. But there's still one missing component. You can say all the right things, but maybe people will still not listen to you, okay? Someone give me a very boring topic to talk about, anything. Shoes? Okay, sure. I'm gonna talk about shoes. I don't want you to worry about what I'm saying, but how I'm saying it, okay? Just the delivery of the voice. I'm gonna come from here and give me a quick round of applause, okay? I have 6 pairs of shoes at home. I really like my shoes. I have shoes for basketball. I have shoes for tennis. I have shoes for public speaking. I also have shoes that I haven't bought yet that I want to buy. They're on my wish list. We'll buy them. I like shoes a lot. They're very good. Sometimes I look at other people's shoes. I like her shoes. I might have had just the same pair at home. Maybe I got the women's pair. I don't know. I like shoes. You're like, wow, so inspiring, I love it. Right? Like, oh, I'm How do we feel about that? Emotional.
I feel like doing sketch.
You feel like what?
Doing a sketch. Basically, watching
Yeah. What else? Did I inspire anyone here? Yes.
You weren't really like projecting your voice.
Okay. Yes.
Because you said everything in like the exact same tone. I feel like I'm still waiting for you to tell me why you like it.
Yeah. It's almost like what I was saying became predictable because I said it the same way, 3 words pause, 3 word pause. There's one word I'm looking for that I was lacking. One word. That one word is variety. When you do the same thing the entire time, if I talk like this the entire time, hello everyone, today I'm going to teach you about public speaking. Number 1, we're going to do this. It gets stale because it's the same thing again and again. So I'm going to teach you an exercise that you can do to take the same words but just make it more interesting. Now, this is usually the favorite part of everyone in my workshops because it makes me look silly. So I'm going to need a quick volunteer, and don't worry, you don't have to come up here. I'm going to be the one speaking. Can I borrow you really quickly? Is that okay? Can you just stand up in your spot there for a quick second? Give him a round of applause. Standing up is a very hard thing to do, so you deserve applause for that. Here's what I want you to do. You're going to do this when you want me to be very high energy. So, hey, today I'm going to do X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z. And I want you to do this when you want me to be very nice and quiet. So today I'm going to teach you about public speaking and why you should really pay attention to every single thing that I have to say today. Does that make sense? So let's just see if I can take a boring topic and just make it sound interesting with a change in my voice and energy. Now, what I don't want you to do is change it like this because otherwise I will be talking. I'll get a heart attack. Just give me like 10 or 15 seconds here and there. Can we do that? Now, someone give me the most boring topic you can think of. Yes? Grass. Grass. Okay. We're going to go with grass. I'm going to try to make grass sound interesting. You ready? Okay. I'm going to start normally, and then you do this or that. I'm going to look at you. I'm going to change accordingly. All right? When I think of grass, I think of the cat that I used to have as a child because I loved that cat so much. She was this big, fluffy ball, white Persian cat. I got it for my birthday and she just completely changed my life. Every single morning I would wake up, I would cuddle her because I loved her so much, so much. And every morning when I would wake up, I would have a huge smile on my face because she would be there asking me for food. She would be there to start me off on a good morning. So I would come and I would cuddle her, then I would go to work, and the entire day I'm just wondering, when will I get back home and see my cat? Because whenever I go home, she's always there, always in the grass, running around, climbing the trees, staring at other cats, clawing all the plants. And to this day, I think about her. She was 8 years old when I left Canada. And now she's 9 years old, but she's still growing. Okay, I'll stop here. Stop here really quickly. Did that sound more interesting than my last take? First of all, very, very forward. She's like, yes, cats, let's go. But it sounded interesting, right? What made it interesting?
The intonation.
Okay, what specifically?
So the way you, not pronounce, but like the way you choose how to choose the words.
Mhm.
How to tell it, like you.
Emphasize, perhaps?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. What else?
I think changing the tone was quite effective.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
When you were doing it bold and then going suddenly.
Yeah.
Tone, yeah.
And by the way, everything that I demonstrate is an exaggeration. I will never talk like this about my cat. Well, maybe I will. You never know. But just so you can see the difference. Do we see the difference between high energy me and low energy me? We see the huge variety there. This keeps the audience on edge because they don't know what to expect the entire time, right? Now, I'm going to teach you to do something when it comes to putting this into practice. I'm going to say the same thing, and I want you to say it with me the way I say it. Okay? So I'm going to need you to say it out loud with me. I didn't say I wanted this. I didn't say I wanted this. There we go. I didn't say I wanted this. 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 Did any of the words change? Someone's like, yeah, which words? Each word was the exact same. But let me ask you this. Did the meaning of the sentence change? Why? Emphasis. The word you emphasize changes the meaning. So for example, imagine if Steve Jobs or Tim Cook is announcing the next iPhone. It says, "Good morning, everyone. I'm really excited to announce a brand new iPhone." Would anyone be inspired by that? Or, "Good morning, everyone. Today, I'm really excited to announce the brand new iPhone." None of the words changed, the pacing changed, and the emphasis changed. Which one was better, first or second? Right? So what I want you to try now, this is gonna be very silly, but just trust me on this one. Partner up with the person next to you, and you're gonna do this or that with your partner. And I really want you to push your partner, because you do this and the partner is barely moving. You wanna see their hands moving. You wanna see them going really high energy. If you don't see it, just keep doing this. Louder, louder, let's go. And you just wanna give them ups and downs, okay? So let's pick a topic that's not as boring, a little bit exciting, and let's see what we can do with it. What's an exciting topic we could talk about? Yes, pets? Is anyone here who doesn't have pets? Okay, democracy, unfortunately. We did vacations or holiday, okay, yeah? Food, okay, let's do your favorite food, what you like eating the most. So one person will go, the other person will give them the indicator. Your job is just to push it and push it and push it. You will look silly, it will look forced. Let's see what it does, okay? All right, 3, 2, 1, let's go. And time. That's the most laughs I saw the entire session. I don't know what you folks were talking about. How do we feel doing this to our partner? Was it fun or what? Right? How'd they do? Yeah? Well, what did you notice about the way they started talking when that happened? Can you share your experience, please? Yes, what did she do when you did that to her?
Which you could tell the tone change was very different. It went from like very calm,
Yeah.
very excited, very like emphasizing on everything.
What was her food? Pizza? Oh, there you go, see? How about you? What did you notice in your partner?
When the tone changes, it's more engaging.
Mm-hmm.
It's generally more engaging when it's loud, but when it gets quiet, it's not that interesting. And yeah, that's what I noticed.
I'll touch on that really quickly. You would think that when you're louder, you get more attention, which is true because you can just hear people a lot easier. But I'll tell you this, you can go loud and loud and loud, but when you really want to make a point, you whisper. You see how when I slow down, they're like, oh, what's he gonna say next? So don't scream the point out. When you really want people to focus, pause on the front, pause on the back, and isolate it. So most people, today you are really motivated, blah, blah, blah. They just go high energy, because everything is high energy, you don't know what's important anymore. So that's why when you emphasize, you go a little bit more quiet to that, okay? How about you? What did you notice?
Well, I think similar to what you said, like when the tone switch, like especially about high or low, it kind of like captures your attention. You're like listening, you're more attentive.
Yeah. Did anyone feel like it was hard for them to go higher energy? Yeah? Why was it hard, you think?
I don't know. It's just like required more like energy. You have to like kind of like force yourself to go higher.
Yeah. In general, this is something that took me 8 years to do. They used to call me Arnold Schwarzenegger, not because I'm muscular, but because I was a Terminator. Just complete robot. I would talk like this the entire time and no one could listen to me. So once you focus on really emphasizing, it'll really help you. If you have a book, here's an exercise I would recommend. Just read each sentence. So let's say Sam went to the milk store to get milk. Instead of saying it like that, you would just emphasize each word. Sam went to the milk store and got milk for his mom. You practice doing that and then breaks the monotony there, okay? Did we have fun with that one? Okay. I'm gonna give you one more tool that you can use. This is the one that I had the biggest issue with. You ever gone to a networking event or you met someone for the first time and you feel like you just don't know how to keep the conversation going? You talk, maybe you say, how's the weather? It's snowing outside. Yeah. So you from here? Like, oh, yeah, cool, yeah. So what else is going on? And it's just this weird social situation. I'm more afraid of succeeding when I say hello to someone because I don't know how I'm gonna continue. I don't know how to keep the conversation going. So today I'll give you a technique that's helped me and I hope it helps you too. But first, someone's gonna have to volunteer to be on the receiving end of the worst conversation ever. So I'm going to be doing, he's like, yes, I love bad conversations, please. You can stay there, it's okay. You just sit there for a second. Pretend like I came up to you. I just want you to, don't try to give me anything extra. Whatever I ask you, just give me a little bit of information. Pretend I came up to you and I was engaging in a conversation. I'm going to do everything wrong. You tell me what I did wrong, okay? What's your name? Okay. Peter, what brought you here today?
I'd say public speaking.
And why?
I was going to learn some more.
Are you like from this university or?
Yeah.
Okay. What program are you studying?
Business management.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's your teacher?
Ryan Bullock.
Oh, Ryan. Yeah. Heard a lot about him. Where are you going after this?
The library.
Oh, it's a cool library, right?
Yeah.
Nice. So you want like my Instagram or something so we can keep in touch, or? Oh, okay. It's just like, friends out. Good. Now, who has been in a conversation like this, right? Isn't it hard? What did I do wrong in that situation? Or rather, what was awkward about that conversation? Yes.
We're sort of interviewing him, like we're just asking a bunch of questions.
Correct. Yeah. Yes.
It was like one-sided engagement. Like
Yeah.
I tried to engage a bit more on his.
Yeah. Was it my fault or was it his fault?
I feel like it was a bit of both. I feel like it could have been both because, I mean, you told him not to tell
Yeah.
him much. So technically, right now it's yours.
Yeah. Because he sounds like an interesting person, and I don't want him to like, oh, I love public speaking because when I was a child, he was. Go ahead.
We asked like a bunch of closed, like not open-ended questions.
Exactly. Did you feel like you and I had any chemistry, like not in the inappropriate way, but just any chemistry in this conversation? No, right? Did anyone else feel like anyone learned anything about each other? Yeah, all right. Can we try that again? Maybe we can be friends after this? Okay. What brought you here today?
I saw the event on Eventbrite and they were promoting it, so I wanted to sign up.
Fantastic. So it sounds to me like you had an interest in public speaking, which is why you came here. So, quick question on that. Do you have any experience with public speaking in the past?
Yeah, a little bit, not too much, but I've tried a couple.
Like in what context?
I've done like a few case competitions.
Oh.
I used to perform. Right?
I remember when I came to TMU last time, they were having a case competition. Were you there as well?
No, not same use case, but like high school case competitions.
Gotcha. So is your goal to work on your communication skills to do more case studies, or what's your plan for the future?
Honestly, I just want to like expand my skills the best. Like,
Yeah.
do it the best I can. So any opportunity I get to enhance my skills, I go. And this prevented like one opportunity to learn more about communicating. So show that.
And you remind me a lot about myself, because when I started, it was the same thing where I was so socially anxious, I didn't know what to do. And my first workshop is where I started to learn the skill set. So good on you for being here. Just so I know, what's one thing I can talk about today that it would be worth your time?
Covered a lot of good points actually.
Yeah, let's stop here. I just want to stop with a compliment. Did we notice this was a little bit better? What was better about this?
You didn't ask those kind of like questions, and you were relating yourself in like when he was making points as well. which
Yes.
makes both the parties interested because people like talking about themselves. So
Yes.
people, if you hear about people, it's more of an engaging conversation.
What you said is very interesting. You said people like talking about themselves, which is true, but isn't it also interesting how we don't know how to answer, tell me about yourself? We like talking about ourselves, but then when we have to talk about ourselves, we don't know how to do it. That's a very ironic point there. But another thing you mentioned there is when I was speaking to him, I wasn't barraging him with interview questions, because usually what we do is in a conversation, two people have to be involved. But if I don't know what to say, I keep throwing the ball at him because I want him to do the work. Here's a question. Oh, it came back to me. Here's another question. Came back to me. So I want to constantly toss the ball away. The other thing with that is while he's answering my question, I'm not even listening because I'm thinking of the next thing that I want to say. And be honest, I've been there. Has anyone else felt that way? Right? Where you really have to focus the conversation. So I'm not really present. But one thing that helped me build a connection with him is when I listen to him, I rephrase what I heard him say. So you said you're here for public speaking because of a case competition. Do you want to do X, Y, Z? Do we have an emergency? What's going on? It's like, that was a fire case competition. So I rephrased what he said, and then I asked him a question. So there's a really easy formula that you can use that I'd like you to try really quickly. When you ask someone a question, ask them a question with a what or a how at the beginning. So if I ask you, what brought you here, his answer is going to be a mini story. Oh, I came here because of X, Y, Z. Or if he was in the case competition, I would say, how did the case competition go? Now you're going to tell me a story. What does that do? First of all, it takes the burden off of me. I don't have to constantly keep generating new material, and he gets to talk about himself, but he knows the story already. He's talking about his own experience. So I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to rephrase what he said, and then I'm going to ask him to tell me a story. So here's what I want you to do. First, when you hear him say something, respond with your input. So, oh, public speaking, that sounds amazing. I like public speaking too. That's me responding. Then paraphrase. When you mention X, Y, Z, you said A, B, C. How does he feel when I do that? Oh, you actually listened to what I said. You actually picked up on what I just said. And then you ask the question. So you respond, paraphrase, question. Respond, paraphrase, question. Write that down. Respond, paraphrase, question. We're going to do that in a conversation. I know you're going to have to talk to each other. It's a hard thing to do, but we're trying to make it work. We're trying to get stories out of each other today, okay? Respond, paraphrase, question. Now, what you want to think about is your question has to be based on what the other person has said. You can't preload the question in your head because then you know you're thinking ahead. So what we'll do, you're going to ask the other person, what program are you in? What are you studying? And you just want to respond, oh, you're doing this? I'm also doing this. I heard you say you're into engineering because of X, Y, Z. I'm curious, why did you go down that route? What, how? Just get the other person to talk as long as possible. If it's a little awkward, stay in it, take your time, ask the next question. We're gonna do this for about 5 minutes, 2 minutes per person, get the other person to talk. First question, what program are you studying? What are you studying here, okay? 3, 2, 1, let's go. And time! All right, some people were just really into it. Did you get to know your partner a little bit better? Yeah? Okay, someone tell me how that felt. How about you? How'd that feel?
It felt pretty good. I think I learned a lot about, I asked topics about things he was interested in.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got him to talk a lot.
Okay. Yeah. Was it easy for you not to constantly come up with the next thing to say? Were you present in the conversation? Fantastic. Hopefully you learned more about Hans Zimmer in that conversation. How about you?
We talked, because we already know each other, it was kind of hard to come up with questions.
Yeah.
For the set topic about what we're studying and what we're majoring in.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I think we did well.
Fantastic. How about you?
It was interesting. I listened a lot, and I usually, as you said, paraphrase. So I mentioned whatever she said,
Mm-hmm.
and then asked a question. So it was easier, and I hope she enjoyed my
Yeah, I hope she enjoyed my interrogation. Was the interrogation fun? Yeah. Oh, I love that interrogation. That was amazing. How did you feel on the receiving end of that, getting the questions?
I think I was more passionate while talking.
Interesting.
I was talking about myself, so I was adding more stuff.
Yeah.
So she can know more about me.
Did you feel like she was forcing it in any way?
No, she was listening.
Very, very natural. Okay, that's good. Did anyone have a hard time with this or feel stuck with it? Yes.
A little bit, but my partner was really good at paraphrasing and asking questions, so it helped me speak more in a way, if that makes sense.
So because he paraphrased, you could elaborate more, is that what you're saying?
I wasn't sort of digging for information in my head.
Yeah.
He allowed me to speak more in a way, if that makes sense.
Did you feel, I'm trying to understand what the difficulty was. Did you feel like you were thinking ahead?
Mm-hmm. I felt sort of I was just trying to fill the time in a sense.
Yeah.
Because I knew we had 5 minutes, so I was I
Yeah.
don't want there to be that awkward silence.
That's a good point because right now we're in this container of 5 minutes, so you have to try the exercise as soon as possible. But when you're in an actual event, you can probably relax a little bit, think about the next thing to say. And most people, they like that you actually absorb the information. I'll give you a quick example. Let's say you go to the doctor and you tell the doctor, hey, doctor, I'm having a pain in my leg. What should I do? Oh, you should take this medication. This medication, this medication, this medication. It's amazing. It'll fix all your problems. Are you going to trust that doctor? You don't even think about that. What do you mean? I'm not going to take these 3 pills a day. But if you did the same thing, hey, I have a pain in my leg. What should I do? Maybe try this. I had a past client try it and it really helped out. I think it's going to help you. Same exact thing, took more time, but it seemed a lot more thoughtful, right? Will this help you get through some awkward situations in networking events? Yes or no? Yes? Okay, beautiful. I want to leave with one last trick, I'll call it. This is one of my favorites because everything we've learned so far is a technique that you can learn and how you can implement it. But the moment I walk out of that room at the end of the session, you'll forget 99% of what I say. So I want to make sure it really sticks and you really remember what I say. So I'm going to do something very, very unusual, and whoever can tell me what I'm about to do is not going to get a prize. Well, why do you think I've got a tennis racket here today? What is that to be? My friend, I don't know what workshop you signed up for, but yes. What is that?
Like you switch, like when you play tennis.
Oh, play tennis? We need a net here, but can we play tennis here, Paige? Do we have space?
In this room?
Unfortunately not, I'm sorry, yes.
Remember you mentioned tennis before?
Okay,
Whenever you would
stop right there. Don't reveal the trick. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna need 2 volunteers very quickly, and don't worry, I'm not gonna have you do anything unbelievable. Can I borrow you really quickly and borrow you? Please give them a round of applause, please. Okay. I'm gonna give each of you different instructions. But essentially what I want you to do, I just want you to balance the racket up. Speaking of balance, someone drops their phone. How ironic. I just want you to do this. What you have to do, keep your hand completely straight. You're not allowed to cup it like so. You just have to keep it completely straight like this, okay? And just try to balance it. But I'm gonna tell you, only you, what to do, what the trick is, and you just try it. And the audience, you will gauge whether she's gonna do better or he's gonna do better. Okay? So no pressure, you know. So I'm gonna give him the trick. You, stand over there. Okay. Look at the palm of your hand the entire time when you do it, okay? Don't look anywhere else. All right, let's try. Give him a round of applause. People in the front, hopefully you have health insurance. Just either way, it's fine, yeah. You got this. A little bit of cheating going on, right? Okay, let's stop here. Hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, I'm gonna get you to try.
Okay.
Stare at the top of the racket the entire time when you do it, okay? All right, straight hand? All right. There we go. A little bit longer. Let's try one more time. Make sure it wasn't a fluke. This place is insured, right? Okay, cool. One more time, one more time. There we go. All right. Stay here for a quick second. Who did better? Let's let everyone point their hand at who did better. All right. Who wants to take a shot at why she did better?
She looked at the top of the racket.
There you go. She looked at the top of the racket. He looked at the bottom of the racket. You can have a seat and I'll explain why that works. Round of applause, folks. The way this works is both of you, I'm assuming, have never done this exercise before, correct? Right? If you do the same exercise, but you look at the bottom of the racket, for some reason, you can't do it. It's very, very hard to do. And some of you can try this exercise afterwards. But if you look at the top of it, it becomes very, very easy to do. So why do I show this exercise? I show it because you can have all the skill set. You can know all the right techniques, but if you focus on the wrong thing before your presentation, before your interview, before your networking event, you can't do anything correctly. So what you focus on significantly affects your results when it comes to communication. Now be honest, before you go up on stage and do a class presentation, what are we thinking about? I hope I do well. I hope I don't blank out. I hope I remember what's on slide 17. Actually, I haven't even made slide 17 yet. I'm gonna do it while the other person's presenting. I hope people don't judge me. Do those thoughts sound familiar? Right? So what we want to do when we step on stage, we want to do everything in our power to shift our focus away from ourselves. We want to shift focus to our audience. We want to shift focus to our slides, shift focus to something external. Because the more you are focused on what you are doing in that moment, it's going to become very hard for you to do something correctly. A quick analogy is, I'm assuming everyone here can walk. Right? Some people are not sure. Maybe you'll learn today, later. But I'm assuming if I asked you to walk from here to there, you could walk no problem. But if I said, okay, now that you're walking, here's what I want you to do. I want you to make sure your chin is high up here, your eyes are up here, your shoulders are back, your chest is out, you have a 1 foot difference between your legs, your left hand and your right leg are synchronized, your right hand and your left leg are synchronized, and you're looking straight the entire time. Now walk. Are you going to do better or worse? Better or worse? Worse. Why? I said all the right things. Because we are giving ourselves instructions that interfere in our natural ability to do something. So when we're in a conversation, what are we thinking? Oh, I hope this person likes me. I hope I know what to say next. I hope I'm interesting. It's taking away from your ability to already do what you know how to do. So how do you shift focus? Do something outward. If you're going for a presentation, don't look at your notes right before. Don't look at your notes during. You want to play a game on your phone. Relax yourself. You want to think about the audience. Now, some of you might notice before the presentation, I came up to you and I said, hey, what can I do to make sure this is a good experience for you? I came to you as well. It helps me focus externally. So before you go to a networking event, before you present, just tell yourself, today, this is not about me. This is about the person in front of me. Not about me. It's about the person in front of me. When you take the pressure off of yourself, it becomes much easier, okay? So let's do a quick recap, folks. What did we learn today? Did we learn the importance of our body, yes or no? Yes. Did we learn the importance of having a good introduction, yes or no? Yes. Did we learn how to structure our thoughts when we speak, yes or no? Yes. What's the next thing we learned? Because I forgot. I'm kidding. What's the next thing we learned? We skipped 2 points there, but yes.
Present, past, future.
Present, past, future, yes. That was the introduction, but still. Energy shifts. High, low with the tonality. You want it to be very interesting. And then lastly, you also want to always paraphrase what the other person is saying, respond to them, ask them a question if you want to keep a conversation going, okay? I want to leave you with one quick gift before I leave. When I was doing my public speaking workshops, one of the biggest challenges I was having was people would have a great time. Who's having a great time, by the way? Fantastic, fantastic. Save the applause for the end. But they would love it, but the moment they would walk out, they would forget everything. They wouldn't know what to do. So I wanted to put something together. I created what's called the 10-day speaking challenge. If you go to freespeakingtips.com, which I encourage you to do right now if you get your phone out, if you go to freespeakingtips.com and you sign up, here's what you're going to get. You're going to get about a community of 12,000 people from around the world who are doing this challenge right now. You can post videos of yourself speaking about every day's topic, and you can get feedback from other people on how you're doing. This is only if you want to do it. You also get about 9+ hours of all of my courses and training, and I would like to offer you for the amazing price of nothing. So you can go to freespeakingtips.com, try it out, and in 10 days, I promise you, you're going to be an amazing speaker. Folks, do we have a good 2 hours today, yes or no? Yes. Thank you very much, everybody. Give yourself a round of applause.